So Nicaea, I love that name. It has this very ancient feeling. Sumerian, maybe, I'm not sure. Why did my daughter die? Wow. When will I retire from full-time, and where will I live? A condo versus a house. Will I continue to work full-time for another 1.5 years? What can be done to help my mother? Okay, so when I tell my clients when we get on a session, so if you do a soul reading with me is usually the great entryway, or today I did one for a client who did a package with me, and she keeps coming back on doing different types of sessions, but essentially what comes through is what's optimal for you. So a lot of people show up and don't ask anything, and the other day somebody sent me like 20 questions or something. And so I read them, I tuned into them like I just did now. I received them, I'm putting them into the field here. And know that whatever's optimal for you is what's going to come through. So if you feel like I want this, again, the same, and don't be desperate for answers. And let's see what kind of answers come through on these topics. First of all, I want to send you a hug. And I want you to really receive it heartfelt from the deepest part of me, because I had a daughter die as well. And I don't know, because I haven't had other painful experiences, but I think it's one real deep, big one. All right, so your daughter is here, and she's coming head to you, and she said, your pain was not in vain. You are not a wasted experience. You didn't lose anything. We both gained. We both had a powerful expansion. It is not the happy experiences that one seeks, yet it is a deeply profound, transformative soul experience that few get to receive. You and I came together to do this. We came together to create an experience that gave us the strength of a bridge, that we could be a structure to build a bridge, to connect and to hold that space, and to live despite knowing on our soul level that this was in our future. And to take these steps isn't just bravery, it isn't courage, it is commitment to our purpose. It is commitment to an experience that created a very profound ending to a long-term ancestral pattern, a very profound ending to beliefs and attachments. The pain is rusty. It's rusting now. It's old. It's absorbed all the oxygen that it can, and it's run its course. It's ready to change form. So the pain of the loss and the thoughts and everything that you've been feeling, I'm always here. I feel it. And we're both ready for lighter, joyful. So the pain is time to sand away the rest of that rust, whatever has decayed, whatever has oxidized, whatever has happened, and shine up this under structure that came into us. We both have aligned with a structure that is so powerful, we can hold up more. We can build bigger worlds. We can expand more. We're less afraid, and we are more love. Never forget This love isn't something that's left. This love is something that's always there. Can't see it, can't touch it, and yet there's other layers that are connected. She asks that you connect to her this way, that you feel like you're face to face and you tilt in so your foreheads are touching right here, and your eyes are closed, and you can feel the breath, and you feel the heart, and you feel this sacred space between you, and you feel the connection mind to mind and heart to heart. And you don't have to receive anything in particular, like words or messages. There's just being together the way that you would with your children, the way you would with the people you love. And there's an exchange of energy that's happening a lot. But if you have this willingness to consciously connect, surprisingly, I didn't want to try. It was too painful for a very long time. And now it's sort of a, hey, how are you today? More present sometimes, less present sometimes. And there was an earnest energy to her message of the way you would talk to somebody you really love that is going out to do something dangerous. You might not see them again. You're just like, listen to me, okay? This built, and there's almost an honoring, like we realize who you are. Everybody here, if you've chosen a super painful, challenging, transformative, shocking, unusual experience, there is a strength in you. There is a reverence for you because you're doing the big work. Now, you don't have to. If you're like, oh, I'm above that, I can stay at a higher level even when bad things happen, quote unquote. Okay. Not connected. Let's see if we get reconnected again here. Ah, there we go. We're back on. All right, good. So let me see if any of your other questions, Nicaea, are important for me to answer at this time. So, Nicaea, you have a lot of questions. What can be done to help my mother? Where should I live? When will I live? When will I change my job? You're asking questions that you have the answer to. You're asking questions that you're in charge of. You're in charge of when you move. You're in charge of listening to the inner guidance to realize when it's time to change or to move. That these decisions being told to you will only change your presence in this moment. That you want to have a connection direct to yourself, to your higher self, to your truth, to what's optimal for you, and be in the flow. Ask the questions and then let them go. So, okay, well, I'm thinking about retiring full time. I wonder when that will be. Wonder where I'll live. Will I live in a house? Will I live in a condo? Will I live on the beach? Will I live here? This is your chance to choose and create your reality. How long will I continue to work? Energetically right now, it looks about like a third of whatever you said here. 1.5 years. So a half a year. But that might be where you are now, and then you shift. Everything you do in every moment changes everything you did. So don't be attached to your goals, your plans. Don't be attached to what you said. Don't let somebody bully you by saying, well, you said you were going to do that. When are you going to do that? Why didn't you do that? Or why'd you do it earlier? Why'd you do it later? So a bigger thing for you is to open to your inner guidance. Be on the journey. To be honest, the journey, I loved it when the other day I ended a session and the person said, well, that went in a strange but wonderful direction I didn't expect at all. Or that wouldn't be what I normally think of myself, but it so resonated. So we want to be present for the journey. We want to be the one in the moment for the journey. So what is the journey that's going to unfold? Well, there's going to be different doors coming. There's going to be different opportunities. In about a week or two, there's going to be a door that opens for you. It might be a thought. It might be an idea. It might be somebody talking about something you'd never heard of. It might be you cruising around the travel channels or looking at rentals and houses in a particular area. Well, what's it like over there? What do the houses look like? How much do they cost? Could I rent for a while? You're just playing in the information. Gather information in the ways that you can. So you can look and you can see, then type and look. Watch YouTube videos on things. That's how I ended up over here. I came to Mexico just for a few months because of a wedding, ended up staying, and I moved a few different places and had incredible experiences over on the Caribbean, and then suddenly felt like I needed to go somewhere. And I didn't know why, and I loved where I was, and I didn't want to give up this amazing condo I had and the view and all of this stuff. And all of a sudden it was just like, no. And then Chris started feeling it. So without knowing why, I started looking, well, where else could I live on the beach? Well, where could I actually have a house on the beach? Because where I lived at the time, they didn't have houses on the beach. They either had resorts or condos or hotels. And so it was like, wow, I wonder. And I started to just go along the coastline and I'd Google a town or Google an area and I'd look at the rentals and I'd look at the houses for sale. That's just called receiving information and communication, right? And so let it come to you, let it unfold and get your information. Then you might go do a reading with me, for example, or you might go to the intuition camp, and all of a sudden during an activation, you suddenly are like, oh my gosh, so this lady the other day, she had this, wow, I'm getting really, energy is getting super high. Whew. This lady, I'm trying to turn on my air. I got really cold. Now I'm getting really hot. Woo! This. What was it? Hang on here. Wow, it's a lot of energy. Oh, yeah. So she's the one that came on with the 20 questions. And some of them were things like you're asking, right? And there's nothing wrong with asking questions, okay? Not at all. Because what I told her is if you come on and you ask questions or you tell me things that have been happening, it means you're putting that energy in. And then your energy moves and I see things in your field. And if it's relevant to what's optimal for you, the information comes through. So let's say you do something like that and then you have an aha. Well, she said, I don't know what I should do. And her logical mind wanted her to do, should I do this and then this and then this and then go there and then move and then do that. But this energy, and another person I talked to, they were like, the energy where I am doesn't feel good, but I don't know how I could move for all these reasons. And there's this gap. And by the end of the reading, we were laughing and giggling and just stunned. She was like, wow, that answered all the questions but one. And it was like she was given all these different instructions and ideas and information, and suddenly she just went, oh, I never thought of that before. I know that's what I'm supposed to do. That wasn't at all what I was thinking. I'm going to do this, this, and this, and I could do that. Wow, and I could do that now. So this is what you want, is open to possibilities. So asking the question means that you're asking, right? So ask your inner self, right? And then listen and enjoy the process. So right now, I have seen so many people who need to leave where they are. Energies have been used up, things have been completed, the energy of the land or the people or the town or the house or whatever they're living in is done. And now it's not benefiting them. So this is an important thing for you to think about, because in particular, it seems to be what you do is going to change, because what you want is going to change. And where you live, if you move, needs to be an inspirational space, and less about what kind of space, but then exploring and opening to those spaces. Open your heart and your belly, your solar plexus, and let it shine the way. Let it show you, what would I love? What else do they have? I tell you something that I did. I've lived in many different places, and every time I moved somewhere, I wanted to know what was unique to that area. So when I lived in New Mexico, they were adobe homes, there were Kiva fireplaces, there were brick or sautea tile floors, there were latia ceilings or wood ceilings, and latias are like sticks, laid together like that to form the ceiling. There were all these amazing features, different kinds of tiles that were unique to that area. So I went around and I looked at as many things as I could, and this is pre-internet, and I made a list. I like this, 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 I like this. And what it was like I was going through the infinite field, but I was going through what was right there. I didn't know that I wanted a Kiva fireplace. I'd never thought about having a fireplace in my bedroom. Wow, it was awesome, right? I didn't know that I could have a passive solar wall. I didn't know that these ceilings existed, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I want that. And it isn't to make you feel a gap between what you can have and what you want. It's to inspire you, because you're to be like, I never would have thought that I'd live where I am right now. Or I always wanted to live on the beach. So for me, that's not weird. But I've tried different places. I've tried so many different places to live. I like that experience. And so play with it and have fun with it. Where you live, maybe experimenting with some different things might be an energy. Many of you have that sensation. All right. Thank you. Thank you, honey. Big hugs. Thank you to your daughter. I appreciated that. It was a little bit of a shock. She came through immediately into me. And I really appreciate that. Lots of readings happening today, right? Oh my goodness.